Mr. President, after years of economic stagnation during the Obama administration, we're experiencing an economic revival. Thanks to Republican economic policies, the economy has taken off during the Trump administration. Unemployment is near its lowest level in half a century. June marked the 16th month that unemployment has been at or below 4%. For 15 straight months, we've had more job openings than Americans looking for work. Right now, there are roughly 1.6 million more job openings than Americans looking for work. That's the largest margin ever recorded. June also marked the 11th straight month that wage growth has been at or above 3%. Before 2018, wage growth had not hit 3% in nearly a decade. And importantly, the benefits of this economic growth are being spread far and wide. Ordinary Americans are seeing bigger paychecks, more jobs, and more opportunities. Over the past 3 years, pay hikes for the lowest income workers have grown the fastest. Huge numbers of new blue-collar jobs have been created, and unemployment rates for minorities have decreased substantially. The unemployment rates for Asian Americans, African Americans, and Hispanic Americans are all at or near record lows. Mr. President, while our economy as a whole is thriving, there's one segment of our economy that's not fully enjoying the economic growth that we've been experiencing. While our nation's farmers and ranchers have seen benefits from tax reform, years of commodity and livestock prices that are below the cost of production, protracted trade disputes, and natural disasters mean our agricultural economy is trailing behind the economy as a whole. I'm privileged to represent South Dakota farmers and ranchers here in the United States Senate, and addressing the needs of these hardworking Americans is one of my top priorities. Recently, I was very pleased to be able to help persuade the Department of Agriculture to move the haying and grazing date to September 1st for this year for cover crops on prevent plant acres. This will allow farmers and ranchers in northern states like South Dakota to sow cover crops without worrying that they won't be able to harvest or graze them before winter weather sets in. Cover crops help farmers by improving soil health, which improves future yields, and they can save farmers significant money by serving as an important source of feed. That second benefit is particularly important for farmers right now. Due to last year's severe and lengthy winter, feed supplies disappeared, leaving no reserves. Corn stalks, a source of grazing and bedding, will be in short supply this year, and so will the supply of alfalfa due to winter kill. Cover crops will be crucial to alleviating this feed shortage. If necessary, I will be encouraging the Agriculture Department to release Conservation Reserve Program acres for emergency haying and grazing this year to further address the feed shortage. Mr. President, the best source of information about what farmers and ranchers need is the farmers and ranchers themselves. And right now, producers are telling me that what they need more than anything else is market access for their products around the globe. Farmers and ranchers depend on trade. Our nation's farmers and ranchers don't just sell their products here at home, they sell them around the world. In my home state of South Dakota, we export a substantial portion of the agricultural products that we produce. Right now, though, farmers and ranchers are facing a lot of uncertainty when it comes to trade. While farmers appreciate the assistance the administration has provided to offset the lower commodity prices resulting from current U.S. trade policies, they would prefer to receive a check from selling their products instead of from the government. Farmers are deeply concerned that their access to global markets, which has already diminished, will continue to erode as U.S. agricultural products continue to be replaced by those from foreign competitors. That's why passing the United States-Mexico-Canada trade agreement and wrapping up the other trade agreements the U.S. is negotiating has to be a priority. I've repeatedly relayed this message to the President and to key members of his administration, and I will continue to do so. While I strongly support the administration's goal of strengthening market access for our nation's farmers and ranchers, the most urgent need right now is to give farmers certainty about what international markets are going to look like. Agreements with China, Japan, and the European Union all need to be concluded quickly to end current trade and market uncertainties. And we need to pass the already negotiated United States-Mexico-Canada agreement as soon as humanly possible. This agreement will preserve and expand market access for farmers and ranchers in two of our nation's most significant agricultural export markets, Canada and Mexico. Of particular interest to the rapidly growing dairy industry in South Dakota, USMCA will expand market access for U.S. dairy products in Canada. The U.S. International Trade Commission estimates that the agreement will boost U.S. dairy exports by more than $277 million. The agreement will also expand market access for U.S. poultry and egg producers, and it will make it easier for American producers to export wheat to Canada. Senate Republicans, Mr. President, are ready to pass this agreement as soon as the President formally submits it to Congress. We are just waiting. We're waiting for Democrats in the House who have still not indicated that they're ready to take up the agreement despite the significant steps taken to address their priorities. It is high time for the Democrats in the House to make it clear that they're ready to approve this agreement and allow our nation's agricultural producers to start seeing the benefits. Mr. President, I will continue to fight to get USMCA passed as soon as possible. And I am honored to represent thousands of farmers and ranchers here in the United States Senate. I'm proud that Republican economic policies have been lifting Americans across the economic spectrum, and I will continue to work to get our nation's agricultural economy going again so that our nation's farmers and ranchers can prosper and thrive. Mr. President, I yield the floor.